From saving time on production to generating image assets, AI is rapidly changing the way content creators produce their work. Today I'll share some cutting-edge techniques you can use to enhance your YouTube videos. Let's start with a task many YouTubers are familiar with: thumbnail creation. This often involves selecting a person and removing them from the background. I'll demonstrate with Photoshop, but there are lots of other apps that can do this as well. Back in the day, creators used to have to manually draw masks to isolate a person from the background, which took a lot of time. Now AI makes it ridiculously fast to select just about anything. Simply hover over a person or object and AI will detect it. The selection you get may not be 100% perfect. You'll have to clean up the edges a bit, but most of the work has been done. As someone who has been doing this sort of work for over a decade, I've wasted so much time just cutting myself out of backgrounds, but now I can spend that time doing more creative things. I can't tell you how good that feels. To learn more about the object selection feature, check out some of my Photoshop tutorials. Another common task that can be time-consuming for YouTubers is editing faces. Let's say after removing the background, I want to clean up this image a bit to make the thumbnail more appealing. I can use the camera raw filter to detect people and even specific facial features to make precise edits to those areas. You used to have to do this manually by painting a mask, but now it's all automated. Just look at how quickly I can whiten teeth, brighten eyes, and make the skin more vibrant in my thumbnail. This would have taken a lot more work if I were to do it the old-fashioned way. But it gets even better. You can use Photoshop's photo restoration neural filter to use AI to detect faces and then enhance them using image generation. I'll rasterize the layer with my subject on it and apply the layer mask because that will give me a better result. As you can see, this isn't some wimpy sharpen filter like Unsharp Mask that fakes making an image look sharper. This is replacing your face with similar looking pixel data from other faces. It's not entirely you, but it looks like you, only sharper. There's a sort of surreal look to it when you use higher values, so don't overdo it unless that's the effect you're going for. There is an image enhancement slider which can help to smooth out the image, including the background, but it has a tendency to distort the face, so I disable it entirely for this technique. It's important to note that this filter only enhances faces, so there may be a stark contrast between the face and everything else. You may also want to output the results as a separate layer and mask it to get a better blend of the original and the enhanced version. Eyes in particular can lose some of their brightness with this filter. Despite its shortcomings, photo restoration really does wonders to give me more presence in my thumbnails. And with little effort, a few clicks and I'm done. If that doesn't sound impressive, keep in mind that this is just a screen capture of a frame from my video, so it wasn't very high resolution or crisp to begin with. AI can even make the earliest photographs of faces look like they were taken on a modern camera, so this is probably the beginning of the end of image resolution holding content creators back. We might even soon come to a point where we no longer use pixel resolution as a measure of image quality. Maybe there won't be resolution, and images will instead have a truly infinite amount of detail. I think it could even be worth it to go through your existing thumbnails and enhance those too if they're not very sharp. Maybe not for all of your videos if you have a lot, but at least your top performing ones. Another way AI can benefit YouTube creators is as a source of free or very low-cost image assets. Traditionally, creators either had to capture all of their image assets themselves, purchase stock imagery, search for public domain or Creative Commons images, or simply use copyrighted work without permission and hope that fair use applies enough to keep them out of legal jeopardy. But now there is a new and potentially more efficient method of creating image assets. There are many free and low-cost image generators available, and between them you can generate almost anything such as backgrounds, landscapes, people, objects, and characters. Many of these assets can be customized as well. For example, you can change the hair color of a person, or change the season of a landscape. Generated images are considered to be public domain, so you can use them commercially without having to worry about violating anyone else's copyright. Just as well, anyone else can generate similar images, so don't expect that you'll be able to stop anyone else from using the same prompt. If you're okay with that, this really is a game changer for content creators because you can now accomplish in seconds what might normally have taken you days, weeks, even months to produce. In terms of practical application, you can make more interesting backgrounds for your thumbnails, or maybe even generate an image for the subject of the thumbnail. And for video content, generating images will allow you to show something visually that corresponds to the video's subject or dialogue. It's a lot of fun coming up with prompts for concepts that fit a piece of dialogue. And considering the cost of stock images, even the paid image generators are quite reasonable. AI-generated images are also very useful for creating images that would be difficult or even impossible to create. There are limitations on what can be photographed for stock imagery. Of course, generated images have their limitations too. At this early stage of image generation technology, the results are often very sloppy, though I don't think we are too far off from getting more accurate results. In the meantime, you may need to spend considerable time cleaning up the generated images to make them look more professional. In many cases, even sloppy, unrefined AI images are better than plain text or no thumbnail at all. Because image generators produce random output, you may even find that you are unable to generate the exact image you want. It might just be easier, cheaper, and less time-consuming to try another route to get that particular image. While it's not a perfect solution, it's already saved me loads of production time to generate images for my videos. When editing, I can fill space quickly and efficiently without having to spend extra time searching for stock or public domain images. Even if I have to spend some time cleaning up the image in Photoshop, the rough concept has already achieved 80% of the result I want. Basically, I'm able to do things visually that I would not have normally had the time or budget for. I would have had to find something else to fill that space, or not fill it at all. I have so many videos of myself talking where I could have used generated images instead to make the video more interesting. If you use a green screen for your videos or for live streams, generated images could really come in handy for those applications too. And if you're a channel that does not really have a personality or a mascot of some sort, like a podcast or a musician, then you stand to benefit the most from generated images, because now you can create content for your thumbnails and videos that was previously not possible. To wrap up this video, I'd like to say one final thing. The easier it is to do something, the more accessible it makes it to everyone else. This is both good and bad. On the bad side, everyone is going to be sharpening their faces and generating amazing backgrounds for their thumbnails. It may become ubiquitous, or it may become a trend and then give way to the next trend. The point is that if you invest your time into doing this to stand out, you probably won't, because everyone else is going to have that same idea too. Giving credit for your success to some slides or thumbnails greatly diminishes your role as a creator. Standing out and being successful on YouTube involves more than just superficialities. On the plus side, now a lot more people can create quality content because the process is becoming less technical, and therefore creators are becoming more self-sufficient. It's difficult enough to produce videos, so I welcome anything that can turn repetitive, mundane tasks into a few clicks. I believe that everyone deserves a chance to be successful as a content creator, so if AI creates more competition, it also creates more opportunity. I would suggest using these techniques to make the best presentation you can create. That's a much better way to stand out. There you have it, some new techniques you can use to spruce up your YouTube content. If you want more cutting-edge tips for YouTube creators, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Thanks for watching and stay creative.